Welcome to No Apologies with Becker on Beck. Without Becker tonight, I am Lori Hinz, your host, and with me, co-hosting remotely from West Fargo from his man cave is Jay Thomas today. Hey, Jay, how you doing?
I am doing good, man. Smoke's kind of gone away in the skies out here, and it's getting a little humid, though. I'll tell you what, getting a little thick out here. Next time I do this, I'm doing it from my pool.
Sounds like a good plan. Well, today we've got a really good show for you, folks. We have for you a guest in studio who is from Dickinson. So we're representing both the eastern part of the state and the western part of the state for you. And also then we are going to be doing another one of Rick's interviews that he did when he was at Freedom Fest a couple of weekends ago. And I'm a little worried about it because I haven't seen it yet. And he says it's interesting. And whenever he says that, it's okay, so that's going to be interesting, like literally. And then also then we will finish up with an interesting topic for you at the end now too. So to start, I thought what we would do, Jay, is we would talk to you about not only what's going on in Fargo, but maybe statewide, some of the things that you're talking about on your radio show. We could just hit and just discuss them a little bit today. Got any ideas for me?
Well, you guys just like the soap opera called Fargo, don't you?
Kinda. It's entertaining.
You know, actually, it's you know, I always want to start this off by saying I love Fargo. I love West Fargo. It's been quiet. I mean, really, you know, I guess the big talk over here, and it's statewide, is the hey, look, you're going to get the jab or you're not going to work here. That's the big one. But I will tell you a story I got from a listener today on my show. His wife works at one of, and I won't say which one it is because I don't want a chance of getting her in trouble, works at one of the hospitals here in town. So, and this hospital, like many others, they've been told you have to get the jab or you're terminated. Well, wow. In her case, she got, no, she was working the front lines, 18 months. She's out there in the tents, giving vaccination, or I should say testing people and working the front door. I mean, she's pregnant while this is all going on, but wow. she's, you know, I'm a nurse, I'm here, this is my job. So she goes to get her first COVID shot and she has a allergic reaction to it. So
was she still pregnant or had she had the baby after that?
It was after the baby.
Okay,
so the doctor,
got it.
Her doctor said, look, I don't get the other one. So here's what shame on this healthcare place. I would love to call it out, but I just don't want to take the chance of getting her in trouble.
Right.
So here's what they're doing, because they'll do religious exceptions and medical.
Medical exemptions as well, yep.
She's busted her arse, did everything to help the public out. If you don't get the shot, you have to wear a badge that says you're unvaccinated.
Her second one, she got the first one, and if she doesn't take the second one, she has to have like a special Sneetches star or something, the heck?
Yep, the scarlet letter. So here's what happens. You have a medical condition that says, look, I cannot have that shot or those shots. Doctor says no, and that's one of the rules. Hey, you don't have to have it if your doctor says not for you, or if you have religious beliefs. In her case, the doctor said no. Her doctor said no. You're not getting that second one because the allergic reaction the first time was pretty scary. We're not taking a chance. So fine, you can keep your job, but you're going to wear a badge that anybody that doesn't have the vaccine for religious or medical reasons, they have to wear a badge that says I'm unvaccinated. Well, it just says unvaccinated. How pathetic is that? Are you kidding me? How can you do this to your employees? How can you do this to people?
After all she did during the whole entire pandemic, that's awful. And it's a violation of your, I don't know, your privacy, isn't it? By like broadcasting to people what you do or do not do with your body. It seems really untoward.
It's so complex. I've had a constitutional lawyer that I go to for my show comes on, and this topic came up a few months back on my show. Hey, look, what if employers start mandating this? They can do it. They can do it.
Yep, they can. And this is also a right to work state, which means that they can fire you for any reason that they want. Exactly. We've known that forever. But if they're going to do that, I would say, I'd say to her, honey, look elsewhere, maybe look elsewhere. So
the flies are getting bad in West Fargo, man. It's driving me nuts. So
another thing I wanted to talk to you about too was you've probably heard about the eviction moratorium.
Don't even get me going on this crap.
The big mean kitty. All right,
So,
right.
and I'll tell you why this hits close to home. One of our sons owns multiple apartment or multiple rental units. He hasn't been affected yet. He's been lucky. But I got some friends of mine. One of them, one tenant owes him $16,000 in back rent. And this place is trashed, and there's nothing he can do about it. If something breaks down, he still has to go there and fix it, knowing that this tenant is living rent-free and has the money with all the free crap that the government's giving out. You know, here's what kills me, guys. So they end this. I got it in the beginning. I get it. People are losing their jobs. That's not their fault. But you extending this crap, it's just under the government's thumb more and more and more. These people need to get off their asses and go to work. Go get a job. They're out there. They're plentiful. And here's the killer. So you got these politicians that are running around on the left screaming bloody murder that, oh my God, 20 million people are going to be out on the streets. No, they're not. And you know why they won't be? If you politicians that are out there crying and whining and protesting at the Capitol that you can't end this, why don't you go out there and spend your time protesting and standing up and asking, hey, $46.5 billion was put aside to pay for rents and to pay landlords. And oh, by the way, there is about $20 billion owed to landlords in this country. Okay, this isn't too hard to figure out. $46.5 billion, $20 billion, pay the landlords what they're owed. So, because guess what? That's their livelihood. That's their retirement. You still got $20+ billion left to continue to cover these lazy, I won't even use a word, people's
Thank you.
rents. How about you take your time and go fight that? Get out there and ask, where the hell is that money? Why isn't that distributed? That's what you should be doing.
Yep, 100%. I absolutely agree with you, too. And I just feel really, really bad for the landlords who are really taking it on the chin here, too. It's ridiculous. Good rant.
But people have this mentality, if you own some properties, you're rich.
Yeah, right.
No, you're not.
That's not how it works. That is just not how it works. If you're a business owner, same thing, right?
Got a small business, you're rich. No.
Nope, I agree. All right, thank you so much. That was awesome. Now, when we come back, we've got a great guest. His name is Scheeler, and we are going to talk to him about some interesting topics. Just stay with us. We'll be right back.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Arrow Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
Go for Launch 2018 series winner. Without further ado, it is my honors. Regina. The winning team is the Flumin River Excellent.
Oh my God!
They won!
Welcome back to No Apologies with No Becker today. Lori Hins with me, Jay Thomas, remotely from West Fargo. Hey, Jay.
Hey.
And we are moving on with a guest this time in studio, and I'm very, very excited to introduce you to Jared Scheeler. Jared is from Dickinson and said that he would be on the show with us today, so thank you for being on the show.
Pleasure to be here.
Becker's out of the building, but we are just moving on with some really cool topics today. So I would like you to tell me now, are you a native North Dakotan?
I am born and raised in Dickinson, graduated high school from Dickinson Trinity High School, and then moved on to the University of Minnesota for college, ended up staying in Minneapolis for 15 years.
On purpose?
Yeah, well, kind of 15 years of my life that I try to forget.
Right. But then came back,
moved back
though.
to North Dakota in 2013 to open my own business, raised my children where I was raised.
Well done.
Certainly didn't want them raised in the environment in the Twin Cities area, and just happy to be back. It couldn't be better.
Let's talk a little bit about your business. I'm having you on tonight because we have a kind of a specific topic to talk about particularly, but you are CEO of the Hub Convenience Stores.
That is correct. So the Hub was established in 2015. We opened our first convenience store, restaurant, car wash, fueling station in North Dickinson. Since then have built the business up to 6 stores, but the Hub is kind of a mix of the new age convenience store, which includes a heavy amount of food service, big buildings, brightly lit, gorgeous restrooms, kind of breaking all of the negative stereotypes that come with the convenience retailing industry.
Got it.
We attempted to break those with our business model. So that's kind of what I tell people the Hub is.
Very cool. Do you have some experience in convenience stores, or you just decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do, I'm just going to research it and go for it?
Oh, great question. It's a terrific industry. In fact, when I was going to the college at the University of Minnesota, I took a part-time job just to make a few bucks, something that I wish more people would do these days.
Yeah, right?
But took a part-time job at a local convenience store and stuck with that industry. I was going to business school at the University of Minnesota, thinking I was going to work in corporate America one day, and being around entrepreneurs, being around small business people, that told me where I wanted to be. So I stuck with that, stayed in the industry, and the opportunity presented itself to start my own company in 2013 when I moved back.
Excellent. I love that story. That entrepreneurship stuff is that you're singing my song there. Now, I wanted to talk to you about this.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, absolutely, Jay.
Yeah, real quick. Jared, I got a question. I mean, great story. I mean, you're an inspiration. I know you're a busy gentleman. You're CEO. You got these beautiful stores. Have you ever thought about going and talking to high school students, doing doing an auditorium program and just, explain to them, hey, here's where I started. Look, you can make it in this country. You can be whatever you want. You got a great story, bro.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, I've had the opportunity to do that in Dickinson, but I would love to do it a lot more, because not only just to tell the story of there are good jobs and good careers in every industry. Whether you go to college, great. If you don't, you have opportunities here. And whether it's in retail, food service, there's so many things, a trade, so many different things that you could do that are worthwhile jobs that people don't consider when they're considering their future options during high school. So I love telling that story. I love the opportunity I get when I get to talk to local high schools and I would absolutely love the opportunity to do that more.
Good for
Now,
you for doing that.
I know, right? I think you'd be really, really good at that too. I agree with you. You're inspiring. So the topic I kind of wanted to talk about was credit cards. People use credit cards all the time. They swipe, they jab them in. There's all sorts of credit cards out there too, many different kinds. And I want you to speak a little bit to credit card fees that small businesses like you and others deal with.
Yeah, most consumers don't know this, but anytime a card is swiped at a merchant, whether it be a retailer, a restaurant, a service provider, the business at hand pays a fee to accept those cards.
You yourself pay a swiper fee when they swipe to
Correct.
your business.
So when a consumer decides to use a piece of plastic, which at my businesses is 85% of the time,
Wow, sure.
85% of the dollars are paid with credit or debit card, we pay a fee to process those transactions. And those fees are upwards of, on average, of about 2%, but anywhere from 1.5% up to 3.5%, possibly even 4%, depending on the card type.
Wow.
And that's become a problem because those fees are so staggering.
They add up. Well, think about how many swipes a day you're doing.
I mean, it's for us, it's thousands.
Right.
And the consumers just don't see it, but I see it every month when I look at my P&L.
Right.
The swipe fee line item on my expense ledger is the second highest expense in my business after labor. It's ahead of rent, it's ahead of health insurance. So the banks are actually making more money off of my business than I'm making off of my business.
Wow.
And that's not just me, it's really a common thread throughout the retail industry. And it's a problem. It's a problem that needs to get fixed.
Wow. Have they risen over time as well, in addition to everything else? I mean, did they start low and then incrementally go?
Yeah. The collective of swipe fees that have been collected have increased fivefold over the past 20 years. Right now, it's about $100 billion just in the United States.
Wow.
And our fees here are anywhere from 4 to 7 times of that what you see in the industrialized world.
Whoa.
They're just so much higher here in the United States, and they just keep working themselves up. In fact, there was an increase planned for last year. One of the benefits of COVID, if there are any, was that Visa and MasterCard tabled that, but it's coming in the future.
Wow. So
Jared,
with yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, I want to jump in here.
You bet.
Do they charge you fees if you use a debit card as well?
Absolutely. Now with debit, there has been some. There was some legislation back in 2010 that helped with the debit market, and we can talk about that. But credit is still unaddressed now. But all cards we see a fee with. Debit is a little bit less expensive than credit. The most expensive cards are those ones that offer those big rewards points.
Oh, the perks, like over
perks.
like the yep, you get you get points for this.
Let me ask. Do you offer, because I have a buddy of mine that owns a business out here in West Fargo, and same thing, he's like, Jay, you cannot believe what they're doing to me on these credit card fees. He offers a discount. It's a small one, but he still offers a discount if you pay it in cash. Do you do that, or is that something you've looked at?
Yeah, at one of our locations, we're testing a 5 cent per gallon discount on fuel when paying with cash. The problem is that cards have become so ubiquitous these days, and people want to use them. It's the convenient way to pay.
Right.
It's really the sanitary way to pay, but it's the expensive way to pay for us business owners.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that the small businesses taking it in the shorts here with regard to this, and it's just getting worse.
Big time, they're taking it. Hey, you know what? Maybe he can accept those. What was that Becker had last week? That thin gold paper.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was like gold back. I think they called it gold back. Yeah, they actually have
gold back. Yeah.
Well, the thing is you're right. People have moved away from, and isn't there? I mean, it seems to me that at some point there was a shortage of cash, and then all of a sudden, this circulation is. So you're getting it on both ends there, actually.
Yeah, the prevalence of card payments has increased pretty drastically in the past year for obvious reasons. But what most consumers don't understand is even though we see those on our P&L as an expense, at the end of the day, market forces work how they work.
Yep.
Those fees get passed on to the consumer, and the consumer is ultimately paying for their own fees. They're paying for their own rewards.
Right.
Those who are paying with cash are subsidizing those who are paying with card.
100%.
And all it does is raise prices at the end
I
of the day.
want to tell you right now, I'm not one of those guys. I'm 55 years old. I have not one credit card.
Wow! Yay,
Good for you.
Good for you. Well, we're gonna hold you over and talk to you on another segment. When we come back, we've got another topic to talk about with Jared. So stick with us.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Prairie Patriot Firearms and Training is the region's most complete gun and training center. 5-lane indoor range, a gun shop, and a certified training facility. Firearms training courses are offered daily for new, intermediate, and advanced shooters. If you're not comfortable in a classroom setting, Prairie Patriot offers one-on-one private lessons, from basic self-defense training to concealed weapons testing, along with a full line of guns, ammunition, holsters, and concealment clothing. Prairie Patriot, 3930 Memorial Highway, prairiepatriot.com.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York style pizza. We also feature gyros with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Welcome back to No Apologies with Becker, without Becker on Beck. I am Lori Hins, with me Jay Thomas, who's just laughing. I know I have to do a disclaimer every single time because I know that I just don't look like Becker, but I am at the Bourbon Bureau here again, and it's always fun to, take over the desk, and I don't drink his bourbon while he's gone. But I am very excited to have with us today, in addition to Jay, we have in studio with us Jared Scheeler from Dickinson, CEO of The Hub Convenience Stores, and I'm very happy that you came on tonight. This is going to be a really interesting topic. We're going to talk a little bit about the business that you had. Now, when you were very inspiring when you talked about just starting your own business and doing this business, and how it's probably been pretty prosperous. If you were at 6 stores now, so it sounds like you've expanded as time has gone on. But we just got through a pandemic. We just got through this COVID-19, some call it a plandemic, but we managed to come through this, and there are so many businesses that it really killed, but you were probably okay, I'm thinking, because you were deemed an essential business. Is that correct?
Correct. Early on in the pandemic, the Department of Homeland Security deemed our industry, the convenience retailing industry, as an essential business. Mm-hmm. Therefore, we had the privilege, and I call it a privilege, of being there on the front lines every day, for our consumers, for our communities, selling them the things that they needed, whether it's fuel, a refreshment, food, medicine, diapers, toilet paper when we could get it.
Sure.
But we were there. It was so we certainly had our challenges. It wasn't an easy year. Fighting through the pandemic with things seemingly changing day by day, team members being scared. But it was a privilege to be able to be there. And it was a good year because people went out less. And when they did go out, they bought more things. Our stores were used for more take-home items, such as 12 packs of pop, 30 packs of beer, big bags of chips, medicines, things that they would kind of buy on, just in emergency cases. Now I'm here, I have to get gas.
Right.
I'm going to get as much as I can so I don't have to go to a store that might have 250 people in it.
Exactly.
So we benefited from that. We also saw an increase in liquor sales in our stores.
Of course.
Tobacco went up because more people are working from home. There's no restrictions on smoking. So a lot of areas of our business did see an increase in the past.
Interesting.
Can I jump in here real quick? Because Jared, I want you to explain this to people. Because I have some friends that own a chain of convenience stores. And when these gas prices go up, it drives me nuts because what you hear from people, because they don't understand the business. I can't believe how much this gas is. These convenience store owners, they're just screwing us over. You make almost zero on gas.
Yeah, I tell people that we sell gas for practice and we have convenience stores for profit.
Yep.
I mean, the margins are so razor thin, and that's because, kind of shame on us. We put a big sign up on the corner advertising what our gas price is, and all of us do it. And what that transparency does is that it really benefits the consumer at the end of the day because it introduces competition. My competitor down the block sees exactly what we're charging, and he wants to beat me by 2 cents. He's going to do that, and I have to decide if I want to match him or not. So it's really the ultimate in competition because of how transparent we are in selling that fuel. But at the end of the day, we don't make much money off of it.
Well, you're getting hit by credit card fees, and you're getting hit by overhead, and you've got all these other things. People do not realize that.
Can one of the producers bring a pair of scissors out? Because Lori's feeling guilty now about these credit card fees. Can you grab a pair of scissors? Can we cut up Lori's credit cards right there on the Bourbon Bureau?
We could do that if
And then bring Lori bring her some tissues to wipe the tears.
Right. Well, I am feeling guilty when we were talking in break, and that's what he's referring to. We were talking in break, and I'm feeling a little guilty about getting the points now from my credit cards because it's not benefiting my local businesses that way too. Now, I'm going to circle back, Saki, back to talking about the business, particularly of a convenience store. Now, we have hardware stores, my husband and me, and it's a similar thing in that it is something where everybody kind of needs it. If things are going poorly, you'll need it. If things are going well, you'll need it. Now, how on earth did you manage to stay staffed during the pandemic? Because like you said, you had people who were scared, so that must have been a challenge.
Early on, it was an extreme challenge because people didn't know what to do.
Right.
They didn't know if they should be out. They didn't know what kind of risks they were facing. Because there were so many unanswered questions. But fortunately for us, we had a team that said, I want to be here. If so-and-so, my friend is going to be working here every day, I'm going to be standing right next to them, helping our community. So we had our team step up in a big way early on in the pandemic, and we fought through it. I mean, there were some challenges, some dips in business right away, went back up. It's hard to plan for that from a business standpoint, from a payroll standpoint. But we were able to fight through it, those challenges in 2020. Though for some reason, 2021 is just a different animal. Not just for me, but I'm seeing so many other businesses struggling to find people. And it's an environment that I've never seen before in my 21 years in convenience retailing.
I was just going to ask you that because these businesses, I mean, they are offering huge salaries. They're offering benefits that are crazy. We've never seen anything like this. What are you doing to hang on to your employees?
Well, I've always kind of tipped my hat on, we have a great business culture. The leaders within our business, our leadership team do a fantastic job. And we go out and recruit and find the people that we want rather than wait for them to come to our our doors. We build nice facilities. We have a great business model, a new age, modern business model. And we've been able to rely on that for so long. But this past year, it's just different.
Do you think that it is the incentives for people to sit at home and collect their checks that is affecting all of these businesses? Do you know what?
Absolutely. I mean, from economic stimulus 1, number 2, and I had people tell me that they had some random deposits show up in their bank account last month, and apparently it's coming for the next 6 months, a prepayment of a child tax credit.
Right.
And all it's doing is disincentivizing people from going out in the workplace and getting this economy going. It's killing small businesses.
It is. I agree with you. And it's widespread. You've seen it in restaurants. You've seen it in convenience stores, all down the line, all of them.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it really is.
The new job now is to sit home and wait for the mailbox to fill up.
Yeah, it's really,
There's
really sad.
going to be some casualties, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you're right. Jared, thank you very much for coming in and
Thanks
talking
for
to us.
having me.
Yeah, we'll have you back and find out how things are going down the line. We appreciate you. When we come back, we're going to do another Rick Becker Freedom Fest interview, and it should be interesting. Stay with us.
When you're buying windows, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Hi, I'm Jesse with the Window Source. We only sell you the best windows and doors for the best price. Call the Window Source. Just because you pay less doesn't mean you get less.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm coming to you with the most important commercial that I've ever done. All of you know what MyPillow and myself have gone through in the last 5 months in my efforts to bring the truth forward. Well, it's all come down to this. I'm having a cyber symposium on August 10th, 11th, and 12th. This historical event will be live streamed 72 hours straight on my new platform, frankspeech.com. You can help by getting everybody you know to go to frankspeech.com now. To help support this Cyber Symposium event, I am offering some of the best prices ever on MyPillow products, but they're only offered at frankspeech.com. Go to frankspeech.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive MyPillow offers. Thank you and God bless.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
We're the ladies of Another View, bringing you a fresh view on local issues.
And different perspectives you won't get on the mainstream media. Watch us weekday afternoons at 4:30 Central Time on Beck News and at beck.news.
Could you do us a favor? Beck TV is a finalist for Best Local TV Station in the Bismarck Tribune's Best of the Best. Vote now through August 9th by text or online. Vote for your leader in local, Beck TV.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck without Becker. Lauren Gray here. Lori Hins, pick a name. I've got lots of different names. Jay Thomas, do you have a real name or do you have an air name?
Jay Thomas is part of my real name.
Ah, that's your middle name. That's what a lot of people do with their air names.
Really? You just outed me.
Everybody knows that in radio. That's part of the deal. So we have another one of these interviews, and I have not been saying this, but your after hours oasis of sanity on No Apologies. But we have Rick Becker's a whole lot of these interviews that he did at Freedom Fest a couple weekends ago in Rapid City in South Dakota. Let's see who we have this time. It is Joshua Berglund. Roll tape, please.
All right, folks, we are at Freedom Fest in Rapid City, South Dakota, and it is my pleasure to bring you our guest, Joshua Berglund. He is a board member with You Are My Light Foundation, and I heard a little bit about the story here, Joshua. It's a fascinating story. If you could tell our viewers what it is that this organization is all about.
Well, I hope everyone's heard about human trafficking. Of course, I've been a little bit surprised how few know it's an actual problem here. I expected everyone to know about it, but that's not the case. But those of you that are familiar with human trafficking and you've heard about victims that have been rescued, where do they go after they've been rescued? The sad reality is that 9 out of 10 victims that have been rescued go right back. So the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. There's a lot of different ways to express that, but
9 out of 10.
It's staggering to think about, because if you know the different ways that people get involved in trafficking or become slaves, it's just mind-blowing to think that somebody would go back to that. But the fact is, when you don't have the resources in place to be able to rehabilitate yourself, and even though I wasn't trafficked, I understand a lot of what they go through from the mental health side, having DID, which is dissociative identity disorder, also known as multiple personality disorder.
Oh.
This is what's done to make them slaves. They break them down, they beat them down, they drug them, and they fragment their personality. And so it makes them controllable. And your programmer can control you. It's mind control. So this organization, You Are My Light Foundation, provides the safe house to go to be able to get rehab care, to feel safe. Because if you don't feel safe, you're not going to stay, you're not going to go. So it's the safe house to detox, to be able to get off the drugs, and then providing the mental health care that is needed and is necessary. And then after they've been rehabilitated, providing the skill training, job training to allow them to go on, to have a career, to give them another reason not to go back, to give them hope, to show them what's possible. We all have dreams as kids. We all envision ourselves doing something until someone says, quit pretending that you can sing, or quit playing the air guitar, or quit banging on the drums. What makes you think you can be a talk show host? That's what I heard, which was my childhood dream.
Yeah.
And so when you remove hope from somebody, they have no reason to fight. But when you give them a reason to have hope, then they can go on and live the life that God created them to live. Because regardless of what happens to you, regardless of what the epidemic is, the facts are God's purpose for your life doesn't change.
Yeah. Wow, I mean, what an undertaking, because you pointed out that there are some very significant points, and they're very different.
Very different.
So, but this organization is providing all of that.
Absolutely.
Wow. It must take a lot of, I assume this is a donation type of organization.
Oh, we are a nonprofit. We're actually set up as a trust as well. And one of the cool things about You Are My Light Foundation that's unique compared to all other trafficking organizations is the way that we're set up is the donations we get, yes, they go to our cause, but we also share 20% of our resources with our other nonprofits. So I mentioned that we have a foundation, and we've partnered with You Are My Light Foundation to provide their media care. Well, we do benefit from this later on, but this mission aligned with my core value, our core value, and core values, and we believe in what this is doing because I've seen it in my own life. I've recovered, I've thrived, I'm living the life of my dreams, and I come from the same cesspool of trauma that a lot of these victims go through. I'm a success story. I know it can be done. And that's why we are so proud to be a part of this organization, because I believe the people that have been hurt the most, the ones that have suffered the most trauma, I believe with everything in me that those are God's warriors. Those are the ones that are going to go and change things. But they need the care. They need the help. They need to feel safe. And that's what the You Are My Light Foundation does.
Wow, that's fantastic. How long has this organization and what they're doing, how long has that been in effect? Are you seeing results already?
Well, we've actually seen the response has been amazing, but believe it or not, it's been years in development. But we just became official a month ago.
Oh, wow.
Yes, but the response is amazing. Even the people that doubt that human trafficking is an epidemic, even their response, because we're giving them an opportunity to help educate people that this is a problem. And it's amazing how many people assume that a woman or man decides, I think I want to prostitute myself. And there are those cases. It's just about 5% of the trafficking problem.
Okay.
So we've been around for a month, but the response has been incredible. Like right now, we're raising money for our very first center to build. We have an event in Dallas, Texas on September 30th. It's going to be awesome. 300 people will be there. It's going to be televised. And we have some really big people coming that are success stories also.
Yeah.
People that have actually been freed from their captives, have gone on to rehabilitate their lives. It's going to be special.
That's good. I had previously most frequently thought of so I'll step back. In North Dakota, trafficking became much more prominent in the news. We had the huge the oil rush.
Oh yeah.
And so people were coming in by the droves, of course, all across the nation, as there was a decrease in employment, and suddenly you didn't have to have any kind of education or experience. You could easily make $100,000 in the oil fields in North Dakota if you're willing to do that. And
I don't know if I am.
yeah, but there were an influx of young men, and then what we saw was an influx of prostitution. And my frame of mind had been, these are the life choices that they're making. They're choosing to do this. But then it became apparent it's not just that now. So I started to appreciate that there is truly trafficking, but I had no idea that you would have put it at only 5%, where it's like, hey, this is what I'm choosing to do, versus 95% because trafficking. We're here at Freedom Fest, and it's about liberty, and the most significant liberty of all, of course, is the liberty of life. And if you are in effect a slave, whether it's mental because of breaking someone down, or it's otherwise, that's a loss. That's a tremendous loss of liberty. So. Anyway, are you aware of anything in North Dakota that where people have reached out to you or the organization with regard to concerns for trafficking?
Not in North Dakota specifically, but I'm aware of that problem, because anytime you have that boom that happened in North Dakota, I remember reading about it. My first instinct was the strip clubs are coming, prostitution's coming. It's just like when we start a war. What happens? Trafficking. Like war happens, so now all of a sudden people are being shipped in to be slaves.
Yeah.
And a crazy thing too, and a lot of people look at Amsterdam. I'll use Amsterdam. I know it's not North Dakota, and I know it's not in the United States. But Amsterdam, people think, well, it's legal there. And the whole reason why they legalized it is thinking that they could keep the criminal element out.
Sure.
Not at all. In fact, now they're starting to look at what are we going to do, because the organized crime is so involved in it, and those girls that are sitting in the windows don't even get paid. They're there all day, 15-minute rotation, and they don't make a dime.
You're kidding.
You have Cambodia, where the family, how they make their money, trafficking their kids in Cambodia. Thailand, women grow up expecting, if they're a female, they grow up expecting that they're going to be going to the go-go bars to prostitute themselves, to be able to provide for their family. It's not one size fits all. It's different everywhere. But Sweden has done a great job of combating it, because they've made it really tough on the Johns. I was a former John. Now, I prostituted myself, and I've been a John. I know both sides of it. And at that time, I thought it was victimless. I remember after being arrested, I had to do these courses, and they had citizens from this community that was overrun with prostitution. And they're talking about, well, these streetwalkers in front of my home and my kids. And I thought, innocently enough, and I'm saying this for a reason, I thought what I did, well, I met the girl in a hotel. Like, how is this? Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Now that I've been able to step back and I've learned what I've learned about human trafficking, like I don't live with shame. I've been forgiven of that. But it is shameful for me to think, and how naive it was of me to think of how innocent it was. What I was dealing with was another broken down, beaten down individual like I was myself. And in a way, I was taking advantage of them. And that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And I think about that now. When I think about strip bars, I think about prostitution, I think about porn. I wonder now, is this person that I could be lusting after to get my rocks off, are they there against their will? And it sure changes the way you think about it.
Oh, absolutely it does. That's kind of a very chilling thought.
I actually want to vomit now that I said it. I don't feel good about that.
The free will component is everything, and with such a high percentage, wow.
It's shocking.
What a story. What a story you have, Joshua. Huh. Well, any other thoughts, last words before we close out our segment here?
No, I'm just grateful for the opportunity, but please check out youaremylightfoundation.org. And again, this event coming up September 30th is going to be awesome. I mean, we have an amazing band that's going to play, great speakers, great stories. My wife and I are blessed to produce the event, and I promise you it's going to be fun.
Excellent. All right. Well, Joshua, thank you so much for
Thank you, man. I appreciate you very much.
You bet.
Wow, that was crazy. He touched on so many different things on that. That was a gentleman named Joshua Berglund from youaremylightfoundation.org. You definitely have to check that out, I guess. It would be a good place to donate, I think. What do you think?
That was something else. You know, there is human trafficking here in North Dakota. I have a friend of mine whose daughter was sex trafficked, and it's just ripped the family apart. It's ripped her apart. It is a huge crime, and it is happening here in North Dakota way more than we know. I have a lot of law enforcement buddies that say, Jay, you have no idea how bad this is.
Wow, interesting stuff. That was quite an interesting interview. I knew it was going to be interesting. All right, when we come back,
I got to get that guy on my radio show.
Yep, I think so too. I think he was great. Next, we will talk CRT when we come back. Stay with us.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Spas, etc. Yeah. You've come to know and trust us for over 18 years with the largest selection and showroom in Western North Dakota for our beautiful Sundance spas. Plus, you could pick out your next home experience with our selection of pool tables, shuffleboards, and fun accessories.
Spas, etc. Your relaxation destination on Main and Bismarck.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros with the region's only gyro meat spit. Plus, Nathan's Hot Dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York to go. We deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
And welcome back to No Apologies. You've made it to segment 5, and I just went into that break triggering my co-host. Not very hard to do, but that one, yeah, nobody likes CRT. CRT, of course, is critical race theory, and it is ugly, and it's rearing its head all over the place. And the group Heritage Action for America hosted a panel recently, and they were discussing CRT in Delaware. This was just only a few days ago. And among the panelists was a Chinese-American woman, and her name was Ji Van Fleet, and she spoke to how CRT actually shares the same ideology with the Chinese Cultural Revolution. So chaos and control, that's what it's all about. This first Epoch Times article that I'm going to have them pull up here talks about this event, and CRT shares the same ideology as they say there. The next one has a little quote about it. At the beginning of the panel discussion, Jonathan Butcher, senior policy analyst at the Heritage Foundation, talked about the history of CRT and what it's all about. He said, CRT, an offshoot of critical theory from the neo-Marxist Frankfurt School, is built upon Karl Marx's ideas and has slowly and methodically worked its way into American society, infecting the education system, workplace, military, and everything in between. He added that CRT is destructive and advocates for the exact opposite of what it claims to be, treating individuals differently based on the color of their skin. Now, CRT adherents believe America is systemically racist, that racial oppression exists in every institution, and an individual is either an oppressor or oppressed based on the color of their skin. They reject the idea that America has strived for more than 2 centuries to fully live up to the founding creed that all men are created equal and should be treated so under the law. And this woman spoke about growing up in communist China and how the United States is beginning to just look just like it, Jay. And, you know, in other words, the country is heading in the wrong direction with this CRT stuff that's being pushed on there.
Really?
Yeah, right. It's not cool. And it's insidious, too. So why is it gaining attention right now? Why is it getting, well, it's because parents are waking up because they suddenly are realizing what their children are being taught. You know, that was the one great thing about COVID, is that all of a sudden people were realizing what their children were being taught, where we were all apathetic and trusting the teachers and trusting the schools beforehand. It is sprung to the forefront now in everybody's minds because they're like, why are they teaching my child to be a racist? Or think that they're racist, even worse. So, all right, so it leads me to one more article. This is an American Enterprise Institute, AEI.org op-ed. Now, this opinion editorial from June 28th, just over a month ago, is called Stop Gaslighting Parents on Critical Race Theory. Now, this is a great article. You guys show the graphic here on this one, too. The reason this is so great is because this gives you a view of what they are doing in the schools, because I call it school speak. School speak is they're going to use different terms, but they're actually critical race theory. So public schools may not be commonly assigning critical race theorists like Kimberly Crenshaw, but they have embraced a host of policies and practices that are rooted in critical race theory. When parents hear terms like this, now take a note of this, parents: equity, anti-racism, cultural competence, culturally responsive education, restorative justice, ethnic studies, equitable math, whiteness, all of those. they would be fundamentally correct to go to a school board meeting and complain about critical race theories. They are couching it in these other titles, and now I've just given them to you. Write them down, listen for them. All of these practices are influenced by and have the same politicized purpose as CRT, which, to reiterate, defines itself not merely as a theory, but also as an activist practice. So Max Eden is the guy who did this op-ed, and I am ready for your take on critical race theory.
Listen, these schools are lucky that our boys are grown up and gone, because I'd be their worst freaking nightmare. This critical race theory, all this is doing is teaching kids to be racist. Do you think young kids look at each other and go, oh, your skin color's different? No, they look at each other as, you're my friend. I'm telling you right now, what these schools are doing to our kids is unfreaking believable. And you parents and you grandparents, you need to see what's going on, and you need to go to these school board meetings. I say this on my show all the time on 970 WDAY. Do not go on social media and whine and complain and think that that's going to change anything. You need to go to these school board meetings, and you need to stand up and be heard and let them know, look, listen to me. You know what? We voted you in. You work for us. You look out for the best interests of our children. You don't blow us off. You don't get this God complex. You listen to what we say. You know what? How about this? How about you go back to teaching math, reading, history of America, whether it's bad or good, you teach it all.
Yep, 100%.
Good Lord, what the hell is happening?
I know, it's horrible. It is horrible. And it's
you
pervasive.
School board members better wake up. I don't give a damn what town you're in, because I'm telling you right now, the parents, like you said, with this COVID, they got to stay home with their kids, and they saw the crap that you're pushing, and they know the little key words or phrases you're trying to change to make, no, we're not doing critical race. You're full of crap, and you know what? You're going to get your butts booted out of those school board positions.
I concur. I will be out next week, but Rick will be back at the Bourbon Bureau with lots of great topics. Jay, thank you so much for helping me out. We'll see you next time. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit my